All right, here we are. Board of Selectmen's meeting for June 12th, 2023. We've got a quorum. Selectman Lowe is coming. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, the standard conflict of interest disclosure. If anyone has a conflict of interest, please disclose that to the rest of the board prior to vote. Consent items, notice of intent to sell 230 on Main Street, to approve and sign this quit claim deed. And Joe, you said you had talked with Attorney Langsdorf earlier.
Correct, Madam Chair. He called a couple hours ago, approximately, said that he'd been in communication with Attorney Cullenberg in the last week. And to check my email, in the email and in your packets is a letter addressed to the board from Gary Lanza, confirming that he intends to comply with applicable ordinances, not build anything without a building permit, comply with zoning restrictions, keep the premises free from litter and debris. He intends to sell and remove all personal items and vehicles from the lot, and then to list the property for more refurbishing as a designated power of attorney. So he's laid out his intent in that letter, and then following the letter is the draft proposed quitclaim deed for the same property. And then at the very end of the packet, I printed off the account detail. This has gone up slightly since the last time we looked at this. The total today that would clear this account is $35,730.24. I do recommend the board approve and sign that quitclaim deed. And if you do that, I will give it to Attorney Langsdorf to hold on to while we wait for the check to come up from Cullenberg.
Is there a copy of the agreement somewhere?
Of the agreement.
So there's a letter.
Letter, okay. Signed by Gary.
I was under the understanding it was going to be a written agreement kind of drafted by the attorneys and kind of countersigned by all parties. Is that not what we decided? Believe me, I'm all in favor of doing it. I was under the understanding there was going to be this drafted agreement similar to another property that we tried to do an agreement to sell back the property to an owner. Okay.
I think that other property, it was a repayment agreement.
Oh, yeah.
This he's paying in full out of Attorney Cullenberg's trust account. But I'm not recalling specifics. I think you're right. There was something discussed, or Attorney Cullenberg had said he would reach out to Langsdorf directly, because he was ready to write a check, and we're like, no, we need to make sure, you know, the numbers are confirmed, or that we didn't incur any extra expenses with the executive session.
So there's nothing in a written agreement to hold him to these terms.
Nothing other than this letter, Madam Chair. It is kind of a unilateral statement of agreement that Mr. Lanza agrees to do these things. And this is the result of the communication between the two attorneys.
I have my notes to see what the motion was.
Yeah, I mean, it's he spells out.
I thought there was supposed to be a signed agreement.
That was my understanding.
About
Are the minutes complete though?
There are draft minutes. we'll grab those if you'd like. I think, you know, the essence was that the two attorneys were gonna work together.
Again, I think I need to go on record as saying I'm not opposed to this happening at all. My concern lies in, I've been saying all along that one individual wasn't even aware of what was going on with that property, and that could potentially happen again.
Mhm.
And I think we
Oh, yeah.
need teeth in some kind of an agreement that it won't.
Yep, well, let's look at those minutes and see what we were after. But I don't disagree.
Maybe it's because they intend to sell, or maybe that's why they thought this was a suitable, and I'm good if that's what they came to.
Do you give a 10-day payout or something like that to get the check to us, or? You gotta pay interest free today. Like when you give the payoff, you say, pay off 35,730.24 with a per diem of 5.1031.
Madam Chair, typically how we handle that is on the date that the instrument is signed, whatever interest is accrued on that date is what we expect to pay it off, because the deal was made on that day. That's typically how we do it. So I have the draft minutes, Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead, Joe.
Notice of intent to sell, 2301 Main Street. Selectman Schaefer motion for the town of Ranges attorney Langsdorff and the former property owner's attorney Cullenberg to work out a buyback agreement for 2301 Main Street with conditions.
Well, fortunately, in my mind, that points to, and I made the motion, but it points to what Ethan's saying, that there needs to be an agreement. We don't want to do this with a letter from Mr. Lance as an agreement.
Didn't our attorney say to Ron, call me and we'll work something out? I mean, was that?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So this is a result, Madam Chair, of that. I just spoke to Steve a couple hours ago. If the board would like, if you agree with this, we can turn this into an agreement that both parties can sign. If there are other things, we certainly can propose to put those into this.
Right, so at this point, we'd be agreeing with the request in this letter, which goes along with our intent from last meeting, which is in the minutes. And then when an agreement comes back, we'll sign it, and then we'll sign the quick claim deed. Does that sound correct to everybody else?
Yeah, that we, okay, I'm sorry, Ethan, are you saying we approve the quit claim deed on the condition that this letter be transferred or into a legal agreement?
Well, yeah, the way I see it is we're basically re-agreeing what we already agreed to last meeting. And to at this point, until there's a written agreement contract, for lack of a better term, then the quick claim deed doesn't become valid.
Is there anything in addition to what, is there anything that needs to be added to the points in this letter?
I think the motion spelled it out.
It didn't go into specifics though, did it? Just that it was just
So work out a buyback agreement for 2301 Main Street with conditions.
With conditions. That's the part that's the hang up.
Mhm.
Because I personally believe Mr. Lanza does intend to sell and remove all his items as stated in this letter, but conditions are conditions, not intentions. So I think there needs to be a letter with the conditions upon them and signatures apply to that.
Well, and it's a point of we asked for a specific thing to transpire. I mean, we voted, the
Yep.
majority of us said this is what we wanted. So I think it's imperative it's part of our duty, our responsibility to our duty to make sure that it's executed the way we asked for it to be executed.
Correct, yeah, I agree with that,
And
and
we-
in no way are we not complying with this request, we agree with this request.
Right. Right.
It just needs to be done on certain terms, that's all. So it's just another step, and there's steps to these things.
All right, so there seems to be a consensus of the board that a letter from Gary Lanza does not constitute an agreement. And so we want that countersigned by the town, as an agreement with the town to
Yeah, then both parties are obligated to do and make sure that the orders is being followed. And then he agrees to what has been set forth. So you can't say, oh, I didn't think that was included in that.
Mhm.
I mean, personally, I intend to sign this quick claim deed, or I wouldn't have made the motion. I'm glad I have to brought it up because it's propriety
Right.
involved in this. That's all it is. It's just covering bases.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so really, once we sign a quick municipal quitclaim deed, it is in, I mean, it's ready to be executed. I mean, I guess we could, what would make the most sense, Joe, that we approve the, or, because our next meeting isn't until the 20th.
Which is what, a week from tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, a week from tomorrow.
Yep.
All right. Any downside for us waiting till a week from tomorrow, Joe, other than what, we've got the 90-day notice of sale that expires
That expires today, actually.
today.
But that's kind of irrelevant in this case.
Okay,
Here's a thought, if the board, something you could do is if you would like to turn this letter into an agreement. The first question I have is, is there anything else you want to put in it? Do you want to make it conditional that all of the items in this will be met prior to you signing the quitclaim deed? That's the first question. And then the second item is a thought more than anything else, that you could authorize me to sign the agreement as soon as it's ready. That way you wouldn't have to wait until this point. So you could vote to sign the quitclaim deed, execute that, and then vote to have me complete this agreement and authorize me to sign it on your behalf. And then I wouldn't release the deed, or Microsoft would release the deed until the contract is done. We have to check. That makes sense?
Yeah, so we sign the document and do withhold the document until all the things we just discussed are complete.
does the board feel comfortable with that?
It's-
Sharon?
So, the items that are being required to be fixed, are those going to be specified out that the code enforcement officer found, like the violations and all that other stuff, other than not paying the taxes? Is that? Do we have to make sure that they're following the codes that have been broken in the past, which hence leads to the $28,000?
Right, yes, Madam Chair, and that's kind of the second paragraph down, says that they'll follow ordinances. Keep the premises free from litter and debris. Right now, here's what makes this a little complex, is right now the town owns this,
Right,
and they're not free to go on the property right now.
Right.
They've asked that question, I said, no, you can't right now, because it's still being worked out, so what they need is authorization to go there and start doing these things, which
Right, it's just a matter of taking this document and all the good things that are in this document, and making it a signed agreement between Mr. Lanza and the board of selectmen. That's all.
with giving the town manager to sign, authorization to sign on behalf of the board.
And we're gonna have that reviewed by town attorney. Has the town attorney seen this? Is this
Yes.
acceptable to him?
He emailed us when he's
Yeah.
comfortable with it.
What'd you say, Sharon? I'm sorry.
I was just asking if the town attorney saw this letter and if that was acceptable to him, because like I said, my understanding was that Steve and Ron were going to call each other to do something, and then we would have something presented to us
Right, and this is what was
Right.
presented.
by Gary.
Yeah, I know names on it, but
No, I'm just saying.
It's just a matter, it is a matter, we voted to have an agreement drawn
No,
up with
correct.
conditions. That's what we
Okay.
need to have in front of us. Is that agreement?
so I don't mind signing the deed and giving Joe authorization while he holds the document until we get what we just talked.
All right, so we need a motion to authorize the town manager to sign the agreement between the town of Rangeley and Gary Lanza. This agreement would pertain to, and we need a motion for the board to approve the municipal quitclaim deed to Mr. Lin, to Gary J. Lanza.
Okay, two separate motions.
Yes.
Madam Chair, I motion to authorize Joe Roach, our town manager, to sign an agreement between the town and Mr. Lanza in regards to 23-1 Main Street with conditions.
That's Ethan's motion. And Ethna seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor? And that's unanimous. Right. Next up is to approve. It's for quitclaim deed.
Motion, Madam Chair, a motion to approve the quitclaim deed with intent to sell 2301 Main Street.
Sam's motion
Second.
and Ethan seconds. Any other questions or comments?
For the purpose of discussion? I'm so
Yes.
sorry. Can I ask that it be included that this is pending, release of this is pending that signed agreement?
Sign agreement.
With an addition that.
Please, if I could ask for it.
With an addition that under the extent that it is agreed to be signed by town manager. That it follows.
Right,
follows
yeah, and the-
Pending the agreement of signing
Yes.
by the town manager and. Mr. Lewis.
Madam Chair, one other recommendation I would make for the sake of discussion is that in exchange for the balance due of $35,730.24.
Ah,
With the. We're gonna start over, okay. Madam Chair, a motion to approve and sign the quitclaim deed with the addendum, or with the attachment of the fact. Sorry. With the town manager signing the approved legal documents and the total of total of $35,730.24.
all right, Sam's motion
Still second.
and still second. So we've got the agreement worked into the deed condition as well as the payment. All those in favor? And that's unanimous.
Other than the whole per diem thing, we mentioned on this, just saying.
Says the banker.
All done, we already voted.
I know. but-
All right, so we need a motion to go into executive session.
Make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to MRSA Title I, Chapter 13, Subchapter 1, Section 405, 6A, Town Manager's Contract.
Yeah, Ethna's motion. And Sam seconds. All those in favor? And that's unanimous.
Better at
6:18. All right, let's clear us out of executive session at 7:13. We will schedule a follow-up executive session to continue the employment agreement extension with Joe. And so, and it's, we've got also the municipal quitclaim deed we can sign tonight as well, so let's see here. So Joe, you're needing at least a week to gather that information together we've requested. All right, so we do have our next Board of Selectmen meeting. Let's see, Monday, the 19th is a holiday, so it's the 20th. And so I don't know if
I won't be here.
that's right, Shelley won't be here. All right, that's right, that's why we had it tonight. All right, Shelley returns
26th.
the 26th. So
Well,
Which
back
is
to
a-
work anyways.
what's
Back to
that?
work. Back to work on Monday, the 26th.
Monday, the 26th. So if we had an executive session, Monday, the 26th. Okay. What time? I mean, I don't have any time constraints that day.
I have the
Airport commission
I have
meeting
the
scheduled
airport
that
commission
day.
at
Yeah.
4:30.
Okay, all right, so we'll keep that at 6. That's right, Selectman Lowell is going to Hawaii.
Yeah.
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 You're going to Hawaii. Woo-hoo. All right, so executive session with Joe on, we should probably, because if we're gonna do the eval, might as well schedule them. We've got the 30th on a Friday.
We
So
got time yet for the executive session?
6,
6.
Yeah.
Sorry.
sorry about that. So we could do an executive session. What else do folks have available that week?
We can't the 29th.
All right, Shelley can't the
I
29th.
can't do 27.
All right, so let's schedule executive session for the 28th,
You have we
a
have
public hearing.
a
That
workshop.
public-
Workshop.
Yeah, up at the school.
What time's that?
Can we do it at 6?
Okay.
That's for the aquatic playground. Or the
It's a transportation study.
transportation study, sorry, yeah, it's the whole aquatic thing.
And that's one.
The 28th, let's schedule it before, I mean, can we do like, I don't know, 4:30 to 5:30 at least? Or unless you want to lay it all out on the 30th. Work till we get stuff done.
I can't do anything on the 30th.
All right, so we are, it might be a late executive session on the 26th, but, you know, again, we may have more time. We probably will have more time. But at this point,
I won't have time to do a review.
we want to, all right, so,
My
so,
heart's going all thing.
so the 27th is not available, the 29th is not available, the 30th is not available for our full board, so it's just the 28th, and we have a workshop at 6. So, I mean, does 4:30 to 5:30 work?
I think so. I have a doctor's appointment at 2 in Farmington, but I should be back.
All right, so let's do 4:30 to 5:30, we'll either start, we'll do something. It will either be,
What day is that?
that's a Wednesday, the annual review, or we'll continue with the contract. Ugh.
Wednesday,
We'll
the
try to get
20th.
as much done on that Monday as possible. All right, 4:30 to 5:30,
On Wednesday, the 28th.
yes.
Correct. Shelley, you can't zoom in from Hawaii.
I would be upset if you.
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't know if I can
kidding.
handle that.
No.
I'm kidding. Just long enough to show us what's behind John the beach machine.
I'll send you a picture.
All right, motion to adjourn,
So moved.
need a second,
Second.
all those in favor, and we're done.
You wouldn't want me zooming in. Like,
Uh,
No, you rub it in.
no, you learned.
You'd be
things